Hello, YouTube. Good to see you. Happy Monday. How's the next week of your weight loss journey looking for you? How did the last week go? All right, so as you can see right here, we got TikTok. Hi, TikTok. There's like, wow, whole whopping 6 of you here. That's not. I know I haven't been doing much, so I'd have swiped by me too. But hey, TikTok, I'll keep an eye out on you. I'll take some questions from you, but we're gonna be talking about stuff, and sometimes I use a whiteboard, and you're not gonna see it. So if you want to get the best experience, head on over to the YouTube, Chris Terrell Coaching. There. And hey, YouTube, good to see you. I was, as you saw over here, I was doing all the busy stuff while I was getting ready, and I thought so I missed all the comments. So let's see who all's here, see who we need. Oh, well, that camera angle don't work at all. Oh, wait, but you know what? When I'm talking to TikTok, YouTube, that might make it feel like I'm talking to you. So you know what? We're going to leave it. Misty, good morning, Misty. Michelle, good morning, Michelle. Michelle, don't you have a pretty big, I saw it on Facebook. Was that a recent victory you had? Again, I saw so many this last week, it's all turning into a bit of a blur. Good morning, Fiona. Good morning, Hope. Good morning, Tristan, Bethany, Jennifer, Alicia. All right, so good to see you all here. I'll just kind of skim down a little bit, go through. Good morning, Amanda. I'm just grabbing random ones that I spot. Always need the reminder. Yes, if you need a reminder for the live stream, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and that will let you know anytime that we're going live here. I do try to post it on the Facebook group, but I sometimes forget about that. Let's see. Really looking forward to having room in my budget to join the guild next year. Well, I would love to have you come join. Let's see. Ruth, I don't have anyone to model from. Are there any books to read instead? I don't know anyone personally. It would be a good example. Well, it depends on what you're trying to model, Ruth. If you're trying to model weight loss, I mean, I'm happy to step in. I mean, I'm happy to help with the modeling thing. If it needs to be like a specific situation, well, part of why I created the guild is so that you can find models, you can find people that are like you, that can help you with weight loss. So, Ruth, make sure to give me a follow-up here. Let me know what exactly are you looking to model for? Diane, hi. I'm new here. Well, welcome, new here. Good to meet you. Glad you're here. I go live here every Monday morning, if you don't know that. I also am here on the TikTok, right there. And I'm on TikTok all the time. I post there like every day, multiple times a day. And I've got a guild. So come take, and I got a podcast. Be sure to check out that podcast. So if you don't know about it, Chris Terrell Podcast, go check that out. Do I have a Chris Terrell Podcast thing in here? I don't. You know what? Let's fix this live. Where's my photos? I know I've got a thing. I know I do. Here we go. Photos. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a picture. I got a picture of my podcast, the title card. Aha! There it is. So I should be able to drag that here. Oh, yeah. There we go. So now if I want to mention my podcast, I can just have this show up. Oh, sweet. And you know what? I want a button. So I'm going to do this. Again, we're just going to do this live. I know you're not, this isn't it, but this is how live streams work sometimes. This isn't like TV where everything's polished and you have a whole team behind you. Sometimes it's just me, myself, and I doing this little bit of things. Where is the overlay? There we go. Show, hide, overlay. We're just going to drop that button right there, and I want you to show that. So now, in theory, if I hit this button, go away, and I hit it again, come back. There we go. Hey, so if you don't know about my podcast, I got a podcast, the Chris Terrell Podcast. You can find that on all your major podcasting platforms. And if you're a Spotify listener, you can leave a comment on my podcast. Oh, here's a fun question over here from the TikTok. Thoughts on these new Ozempic alternates, Mounjaro, Wegovy, etc.? I feel no differently about any of them. It's the same thing. I am of the opinion that there are many people that genuinely and truly need some help beyond the basics. They need to perhaps use something like a GLP-1. I know people that if they told me they were considering a GLP-1, and I know them well enough, that I would be like, that makes sense. That makes sense. But those aren't very many. It's just not very many. The problem I have with GLP-1s is people are using them as a first line of defense. And I honestly equate that to people using mental health medications like SSRIs as a first line of defense rather than doing the basics first. I believe that people should do the basics. And if the basics don't work, get more help. And if that doesn't work, get more specialized help. And if that doesn't work, get more specialized help. I find a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to jump to the ultra specialized help. And people love to look for a one size fits all. But the reality is weight gain is usually about behavior. That's usually what it's about. It's about behavior. It's not about which foods do I need to cut out. It's about creating awareness to the problematic behaviors that you're doing on the regular and the problematic behaviors that you're not doing on the regular. Creating awareness to both and making the necessary adjustments. I'm of the opinion that if you knew how to do that, you would have done it by now. That's what I think. I think you'd have done it by now. So, I think all of it with the weight loss drugs is do the basics first for like 6 months to a year. Like do them diligently, do them consistently. Do the 10 habits. I got a podcast episode that talks about the 10 habits. You can go look those up. Or you can come join the guild. I'll teach you the basics, right? Like I'll help you master the basics. Because what happens is there's a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people. They're like, I can't lose weight. I've tried everything. And I were to be like, tell me everything you've tried. Everything? Name them. Okay, well, I've tried not everything. I've tried a bunch. Okay, fine. Name 10 different things you tried. And not different versions of keto. Oh, well, you find most people, they've tried like 3 things. And they just tried the 3 things in different ways. But always the same 3 things. One of them being like, I'm going to lose weight fast. Well, maybe try not losing weight fast. Maybe try losing it painfully slow. It's not like you were in a hurry to gain weight. It came on quick. It seemed like. But I guarantee you it came on slower than you think. I mean, it took a long time to create this problem. Stop thinking it's going to take like a year to fix it. Because it won't. Last question from TikTok, then we're going to go back to YouTube. What books do I recommend more about food noise? That would be this book, The 8 Keys to End Emotional Eating by Dr. Howard S. Farkas. This is what I would recommend, 100%. All right, YouTube, let's come back to you. I kind of checked out. I was talking to the TikTok. Let's see our comment section. I got to scroll up to where I missed. Because I did ask somebody to give me... Oh, wait, what? Jennifer, you finally lost over 200 pounds. You lost over 200 pounds. Pad, stop, Pad. There we go. Over 200 pounds. You know what that means? That means we need to have some music. Because somebody lost over 200 pounds. TikTok, you're missing out. We got sound effects and music. Sound effects, music, applause. 200 pounds. That's a big win. That's a big win. That is indeed. This button with the crickets is going out on my pad. I have this button right here. You can't see it, but it's just... See, I can just touch the board. It's not supposed to do that. So, I don't know what's going on with that. So if you hear crickets randomly, it's because it's tied to this button. Stop. Turn off. All right, we'll turn the volume down on that. Anyway, congratulations, Jennifer, on that. Congratulations. Congratulations indeed. You know what? I got to find... Who was it that said about the modeling? I want to find that one. Oh, Ruth. Oh, Ruth never gave me a follow-up. All right, Ruth. Or no, did you? Ruth. Oh, you did. Nope, no, you didn't. Okay, so I don't know what Ruth was wanting. So that was a specific follow-up question I asked that I didn't get. So let's go get caught up. Let's get caught up. Dana, I work midnights and like to do my workouts after work. What is your advice on eating before going to bed? All the information out there is confusing. Well, the reason why it's confusing is because it's not a one-size-fits-all answer. The reality is your body is perfectly happy to digest food while you sleep. It has no problems doing that. So it's a myth that you can't lose weight and eat late at night. Sure, some people are like, well, it makes my belly upset. We ain't talking about upset tummies. We're talking about weight loss. Like, so sure, if it's upsetting your tummy, don't eat it. But come on, people. I know none of y'all said that. It's just usually somebody does, and you might not be typing it, and I'm not looking at the comments. So yeah, you can just eat late at night. Just do you, right? It's all about the calorie balance. And my advice, even just look at that over a week. Look at that over a week. Happy to help, Rhea. Well, wait, did I miss some helping going on? Let's see. I don't have a MetaQuest. Well, that doesn't look like helping. I don't know what that is. I'm sure I'm missing things. But, oh, I see. There's a whole conversation going on in here. All Ozempic gave me was gastroparesis. Yeah, for some people, Ozempic and that stuff doesn't work. For some people, that just doesn't work. Oh, here we go, Sean. But if they don't make the change within, they will be back at square one. Ask me, how do I know? Yeah. Ozempic isn't going to fix what created weight gain. Ozempic, in my opinion, is the equivalent of taking aspirin for a headache. Fantastic treatment for the headache. Fantastic treatment for the headache. But don't go acting like you solved the underlying root cause. You didn't. And if you do, I assure you it is probably by accident. So, yeah. I mean, everybody, it's, but we'll see. Here's the thing. The way I look at Ozempic Wegovy, we'll see. In 10 years. In 10 years, we'll know. Is it just like the next weight loss surgery, the thing that works for some and not for others? I don't know. We'll see. Benjamin. I've been doing really something, and I'm now 25 pounds down. That sounds like it's good, but I think it's a plateau. Well, maybe not. It's going on 3 weeks. This is the first time I'm feeling discouraged. Well, Benjamin, plateaus are normal. Just keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. Give it about 6 weeks. Now, in the guild, I do teach plateau busting techniques. We actually just did a whole plateau busting session 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We did it, but it's all in the library. So you can see that. Let me show you all this. Hold on. Cables are a mess. I should really label these. I have identical cables that do different things, and I should really label them so I could grab them easier. But as I said earlier, I am but one person in this studio, and I do what I can. All right, let me show you this. This is kind of cool. Let's say you were in the guild, and you were in a plateau as our boy Benjamin is here. What would you do? Well, the first thing you would do is you would go to theguildofchampions.com and you would say, yes, I'm a guild member. And then you would log in. And then what you would do is you would go to library. And you would type in, you could do plateau, but it's a hard word to spell, so I'm going to say stall. And you can see the dreaded stall. You could come here, you could tap this, and watch this entire lesson that goes over how to bust a plateau. Everything that you need on how to bust it. We also just did a part 2, which part 2 is not in the library yet, it's in the replay center. So all of my meetings are made available for replay, which is super fun. And so you can come down here and scroll down to, let's see, we'll go to categories, lecture series, scroll down here, and we're looking for, here we go, September 25th, the dreaded stall. Tap that. I want you to see what this looks like. Oh, shoot, I don't want to get a copyright strike. YouTube is much more strict. Most common cause of a stall is, it's really fun. It's I don't know if drifting out of a deficit unknowingly. That is the number one most common thing causing a... So anyway, I walk you through it. I give a breakdown, give you all the details. This can be the difference. Explain everything. But that's what I would do. Like if you were in the guild, I would totally help you bust that by just giving you the process rather than me re-explaining it every single time a person gets stuck. I'll explain the basics. And if that doesn't work, then you can schedule a call with me, which is something available to guild members. All right. Let's see. Ooh, Abby. What have we got here? What have we got here? Glad I made it this morning. I just hit 60 pounds down this week. What? 60 pounds? 60 pounds? We gotta hit the tar out of that thing. That's amazing. 60 pounds. Oh, I threw my card. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna need that. Wow. Wow. Damn cricket button. Great job, Abby. Great job. Congratulations. 60 pounds down. 60 pounds down. Rhea, I'm not sure how to get neat movement in without being able to walk a lot. You could use your arms. Rhea, you know, I don't know if you remember, I've shared the story a couple times in the guild, but on my journey, I got appendicitis and I got a hernia. The hernia really took me down because it was during the pandemic and it was deemed elective-ish. And so they made me really sit with it for a while till finally they let me come in and get the surgery. And so before the surgery, I could barely walk for like a month. I mean, it was very, very difficult. And a lot of pain, an inguinal hernia I had. And then the recovery was every bit of 6 weeks. For me. I mean, it was a brutal 6 weeks. Even like as soon as I got out of recovery, the doctor comes in. He's like, now I just want you to know this was pretty bad. This is going to be pretty painful on the recovery. I just want you to know. He just told me like before anything wore off. And yeah, the doc wasn't lying. It's horrible. This is awful. And so what did I have to do? Focus everything on nutrition. Everything came down to nutrition. Did I have to eat less? Yeah, but that's fine because I was less hungry. Now, if I was still emotionally eating, well, that would have been a kiss of death, right? You know, thankfully for me, this happened later in my journey and I had made a lot of strides on my emotional eating. So I wasn't as gripped by it. If I was gripped by emotional eating, the being told to eat less would have been detrimental because I wanted to emotionally eat earlier in my journey. But when I was just listening to my hunger, the beauty is when your energy output goes down, your hunger goes down too. Which is cool. So it's really not that bad. But if you still want to emotionally eat, yeah, it's going to suck. So if you're struggling to get the neat movement in, I mean, you do the best you can, but you're just going to have to lower your food intake to offset it. And don't skimp your protein. Now ain't the time. Not when you're injured. That ain't the time to skip your protein. And it's not the time to go overloading on simple carbs either, right? Like don't skip the protein. You can lose weight without exercising, but you can certainly, your margin of error shrinks. Yeah. But when I was on my journey, on that surgery, I said, like, I walked however I could. I pushed the limit. Like the question, you know, in the old life, doctor would be like, now don't do anything. And I would be like, great, that means I shouldn't move at all. And then I would just stay put. Whereas now, new mindset, doctor's like, okay, you're in recovery, can't do things. I'm like, all right, doctor, you need to tell me literally what am I not allowed to do because I'm going to do everything that I'm allowed to do. Like, so you need to tell me where the actual line is. He's like, nothing over 10 pounds. I'm like, do you mean that? Because I'm going to lift up to 10 pounds. And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, what about walking? He's like, listen to your body. I'm like, I need you to be clear. I'm going to be pushing the envelope. Like, what do you mean by listen to my body? What does that mean? He's like, well, if you get sharp stabbing pain, you need to stop. I'm like, so dull aching pain, I'm okay? He goes like, as long as it doesn't bother you too much. I'm like, okay. And so I did it. And then when he cleared me for a little bit more, I'm like, now you need to tell me, what am I allowed to do? Because I'm going to do right up to it. You know, he's like, well, you can lift up to 15 pounds. I'm like, what about with my legs? He's like, legs and arms, same for everything? Because I'm like, is it 10 pounds with my legs? Because I got to stand up and sit. You know, I'm asking all the questions because I'm going to push the envelope. I'm going to push the limit. That's very different than the old mindset. Old mindset would be like, I'm injured. That means I need to sit still until I'm not injured. That actually makes the injury recovery last longer. So, anyway, let's see. Starting losing weight. Oh, Lucas started losing weight in February 2022. I'm down 80 pounds and reached Wonderland. Woohoo! Not far to go until I start maintenance. Congratulations, Lucas. Congratulations. Let's see. I'm kind of going over the comments here. I like interacting with y'all in the comments here in the beginning. Oh, what's this? I notice unexpected things or events throw off my whole routine. I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can read it a little easier. I'm having a hard time reading it. Well, that didn't make it bigger at all. That just made it wider. There we go. I notice unexpected things or events throw off my whole routine. Like I had car trouble, and spent 3 days dealing with it, throwing my working out, and eating routine off. How do I approach this? Oh, success loop. Go into the guild, Sheree, and go to look up the success loop. But that's essentially what you do. You just work the process. It's all part of it. Like we all have these challenging things that show up, and it's never going to stop. Like the rest of your life's going to have problems. So this is not going to be the last time. And so what you do is you look at it as a learning opportunity. It's like, okay, how can I stay on my targets while going through car trouble? All right, I'd lost the ability to get to the gym and I was doing that. All right, well, I guess I needed a backup plan. One of the things that's really important is to make sure you always have a plan A, B, and C. You got to have contingency plans. If you don't have contingency plans, your plan's too fragile. Because the unexpected is the only thing that's expected, right? Like we know the unexpected is going to happen. It is going to happen. So you got to make sure, you look at these as opportunities to go, all right, I just discovered where I didn't have a plan B. Let's come up with my starter plan B now, and then when you get caught up again, or when you get like all thrown off again, you'll test out your plan B. All right, let's go over here to TikTok. Let's see what questions TikTok has that we could talk about. Sarge115. Chris, what did you do for the excess skin? Did it retract or did you need surgery? So excess skin, I'm lucky. It's not terrible. I mean, like here, let's see. I don't know if that camera will show. I'll let y'all see it. It's not a secret, and I'm feeling pretty good. Some days it really bothers me, like a lot. And on those days, I wouldn't do what I'm about to do. But some days, it doesn't bother me much. Today is one of those days it doesn't bother me much. So, you can see. That's it right there. It just hangs flat. I mean, I have abs, but this just like hangs there. It's annoying. Not really anything I can do about it. I have others like my inner thighs and my butt. They're a little saggier than I'd like, but they're getting better. Bigger muscle legs, bigger booty legs help. But your gut and your midsection, you can't fix that with muscle. Like I used to have loose skin here, but just adding muscle, as you can see, has pretty much filled all that out. Like there's pretty much nothing left. I used to have loose skin here, building up muscle, pretty much filled all that out. The wrinkles in my face seem to tighten up a little bit over time, but I'm simultaneously getting older, which is bringing different wrinkles. So, I don't know. I know it may not look bad right now, but I have very flattering lighting in here. So, and it's not, again, I don't think I look bad. I love how I look, but it's just the face is changing. So with loose skin, there's really nothing you can do. You just, it is what it is. And I'm telling you, some days it bothers me and some days it doesn't. Mine is right on the line where it doesn't make sense to like, it's not like a clear cut, go get it cut off. But it certainly would make a difference visually. Like there would be a very noticeable difference. But it's still a major surgery. So for me, I'm like, I don't know. I told myself I wouldn't seriously consider it until I'd kept my weight off for longer than it took me to lose it. I'm already well past that. It took me 26 months to lose it, by the way. So I've kept it off for quite longer than that. So I'm in the clear where if I wanted to do it, I'd feel comfortable that I could maintain that. I wouldn't just be going under the surgery only to gain the weight back again. But it's a surgery. It's a major surgery. And I just don't know if I want to go through it. I just don't know if I want to deal with it. Whereas I know some other people, no, they have a lot. They have a lot. I think it's much more of a clear-cut decision. It's like, no, you should remove this. Your quality of life is going to be drastically improved. But yeah, great question. Great question. All right, YouTube. Oh, hey, Mrs. Terrell is here. Hello, Mrs. Candace. Good to see you. Misty. Oh, I've scheduled for skin removal surgery. Plastic surgeon said for women, the test for elasticity and springbackness is stretch marks. Let's see, what else we got? I lost 30 pounds in 8 weeks. Now I got COVID and haven't got my 10K steps a day, but I'm also more hungry. But I have so far eaten less. Yeah, getting sick sucks. Getting sick sucks. Oh, this, Misty, thank you for mentioning this one. So that's this book, The 8 Keys to End Emotional Eating by Dr. Howard Farkas. Highly, highly recommend this book. It's a great book. Forgot about that. All right. Can we talk about what I wanted to talk about today? I wanted to talk about weight loss mindset shifts. You see, if you want to lose weight forever, you got to undergo some essential mindset shifts. And I'm telling you, without them, I'm not going to say you can't lose weight. I'm not going to say it's not possible, because it's definitely possible. But it's less likely. I was 34 years old when I finally decided to lose weight differently. I had been battling my weight since I was in high school, losing over time. And it wasn't until I decided to change here and here, before I started changing here, that it started to stick. And I don't believe it's coincidence. At first, when I lost all my weight, I felt there was a lot of coincidence. But I've spent the last 3 years making it my full-time job and passion to discover why I was able to lose weight, and have been working with others on how to do it. I mean, I've helped personally hundreds of people lose weight directly. Indirectly, like it's in just on a group setting, thousands. And if we go beyond that, in just my anecdotal sphere with social media, many, 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 many thousands, tens of thousands. And I've heard countless stories. And one of the things I've begun to notice is there are patterns. There are recurring themes and patterns that when my sample size got bigger, I could begin to see them. But I'm looking for mindset patterns. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not studying food patterns. There's people far more qualified and capable already doing that. I'm not studying biomechanically what's happening. There's people that are far more capable and qualified doing that. And I'm not as interested in those. What really drew me is what's going on up here. Because I was trying to solve this for myself. And it really shocked me when I cracked open the hood of my mind to see how much of my mind was in disarray. Was not how I wanted it. I looked at the results of my life one day and realized that it's not how I want it to be. I want it to be very different. On TikTok, we're going to move you all over here. Okay. I wanted my life to be different. I wanted my results to be different. And I had to make some vital mindset shifts. One of the mindset shifts that I had to make, that if I hadn't made this, I'm not entirely sure I would have been successful. And it's this. I don't know. Okay, why is this erasing as I go? What in the world? Y'all are seeing this happen, right? I don't know what I am doing. This was a crucial mindset shift in the beginning. I don't know what I'm doing. In the past, I would act like I had all the answers. I would act like I understood why it wasn't successful. So one of the other shifts I had to make is this one. I don't know why I'm not successful. I don't know why I'm not successful. At the beginning of my journey, I had that realization. I don't know. I'd act like I knew. Oh, it's genetics. It's a genetic thing. You know, I would look at all my favorite excuses. So what that meant I had to do was look at every single one of my favorite excuse for why that I used, I had to look at every single one of these and get rid of them. I had to get rid of every single one of my excuses, throw them out, because I had to begin to realize I believe things to be true that are actually false. I used to be a data analyst. And one of the things I learned is when you have a data set that you know has a lot of incorrect information in it, you pretty much need to start over. Otherwise, you run the risk of wrong data coming in. It's easy to find missing information. It's hard to find incorrect information. And in a data set, if there's a lot of incorrect information, you have to go one by one and revalidate everything. I discovered it is usually far faster just to throw it out and start over. And so I had everything that I believed about weight loss, my weight loss knowledge. When I had all these things, but I didn't know, which ones of these, is it this one, and this one? Those were the inaccurate ones. I didn't know. I just knew that some of these were wrong. So I just had to throw the whole lot out. And the reason why I had to do that is because I had to go revalidate everything. And so I took it all the way back to basics, all the way back to the very, very basics, throwing out everything I've learned, everything I know, just throw it out. Take that metaphorical cup of your knowledge and just go and just shake it all out. And you know what I discovered? Weight loss got a lot easier when I did that. But let me tell you about the first mindset shift I made after emptying my cup, so to speak. I would say, I don't know what to eat. I don't have a clue what I should or should not be eating. Should I eat carbs? Should I not eat carbs? Should I do a Weight Watchers thing? Should I go back to New Directions? Should I do this Optavia thing I've heard about? Should I do the carnivore diet? Should I do this intermittent fasting? Should I do the paleo? What should I do? I don't know what to do. Every single thing I go look at, it has winners and losers. It has people that it's worked for and seemingly more people that it doesn't. And I keep finding myself in the people it doesn't work for. So what am I supposed to do? So you know what I did? Let's start with what I know for sure. What are all the diets every single one of them have in common? Every single one. It involves me eating less than I normally do. Every single diet, no matter what it was, it involved me eating less overall food volume than I normally would. Now, not in a given day. No. You see, finally, for the first time in my life, here's what I thought to myself. This is a big shift in the beginning of my journey. I sat there and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to be eating on the other side of this journey, but I'm willing to bet that over the course of a month, I'm going to be eating far less food than I eat in a month now. I don't know what I'll be eating on the other end. I have no idea. But I know that whatever I will be eating, it'll be less. And so I sat and I thought with that. I'm like, well, why? Why do I seem to be eating so much food? What am I doing? You see, one of the big things that shifted me is I started to going, it's up to me to fix this. In the beginning of my journey, I had this realization that it is up to me to fix this. No one is coming to save me. No one is coming to save you. No one. No one's coming to save you. If you don't fix this, no one's gonna. No one's coming. And even if they were, Unless you're going to pay them to slap food out of your mouth and drag your ass out of bed and make you go on a walk sometimes, which you can't afford. They can't help you. You got to do all the work. You. No one can do it for you. You got to do it. And I started realizing this. It is up to me. It is up to me to fix this. So when I started taking this extreme ownership, I asked myself a new question. Why am I eating so much? Like, why? Forget what? Forget the what? Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop the bullshit of, oh, I just don't eat that much. You're conveniently leaving off the binges you do once a week, every couple of weeks. You're leaving off the 3 days where you go on a food bender. I used to do it. I remember one time I'm eating not very much, and a person looks at me and she goes, all right, we're very close. She goes, and I was at the beginning of my journey. She goes, why do people get big? Because every time I talk to somebody this big, they say they don't eat that much. And I was like, well, right now I'm not eating that much. Like, what do you mean? I was like, well, tomorrow I might eat a lot though. I might not eat much for days. And then I'll just gorge myself for a month. Or I'll just go to town on cake. You know, my birthday, I would get a cake for everybody else. And then I'd get a cake for me, like a 6 or 10 inch layer circle cake from the best bakery I could find. I'd get a whole one for me. I'd leave it in the box. And I'd just leave a fork in the box. Why would I take the fork out? Why would I even bother with a plate? Literally, every time I walk by, I'd open the box and I'd take several big bites of just amazing, delicious cake. And I'd eat the whole cake by myself in less than a week, usually less than 5 days, because you know it's going to go stale. I don't want it to go stale. Can't let it go to waste. See, I conveniently leave that shit out of my story. I conveniently wouldn't tell anybody about it. We're like, I don't know why I'm not gaining weight. Because the reality is, I didn't want to look at that. I didn't want to know. Until finally, when I stopped realizing that, hey, it is up to me to fix this. No one else. It's up to me. I'm like, why? How am I getting all this extra food in? And I sat there and it hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. It was so obvious when I said, how is the food getting in? And I realized it is, I'm eating regularly when I'm not hungry. Keep in mind, I didn't really know what that meant, but I just sat and thought about it, and I was like, all the time I would say this phrase. Somebody would come up, hey, Chris, you want to go out and get appetizers and drinks with us? And I'd be like, well, I'm not hungry, but I could eat. And it's not like I'd go and have just a few chicken wings. No. I'd order a whole plate to myself and have 4 beers. I'd go slam down 1,200 calories because I could eat. Oh, my buddies called me. Got to go eat with them. Hey, you want to go get lunch? And I'm thinking I'm not real hungry, but like, they're like, come on, it's chicken fried steak sale or lunch deals at whatever restaurant. I'm like, whoa. I mean, I could eat it. And so I'd go slam down 1,500, 2,000 calories for lunch because I could. Not because I was hungry, not because I needed that much food, not because I even actually really wanted it. I just did it because I could. It'd be fun. So I'd do it. I did this all the time. All the time. So the big mindset shifter I made is, I don't know what I'm going to eat. I don't know. Don't matter. But I will not eat unless I'm hungry. I will not eat unless I'm hungry. Or unless it's my choice. One of the things I had to realize is I had to stop acting like I was forced to eat. Let's be real. Most of y'all have never been force-fed ever in your life. No one's walking up with a spoon and saying, eat this. And then if you insist on saying no, they're like, well, I'm going to put it in your food and in your mouth anyway. No one's coming up and saying, here comes the airplane, open up your mouth. No one's doing this anymore. We ain't babies. No one's force-feeding us. Sure, people might be using guilt and shame to try to manipulate you into doing what they want. Maybe you should stop letting people use guilt and shame to manipulate you into living your life, and you should just be like, no, thank you. You know, by the way, you want to know the ultimate trump card when somebody's using guilt and shame? You say, are you using guilt and shame to get me to do something? And you'll be surprised how people all of a sudden will very quickly back down because they're like, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not using guilt and shame to get you to do something. I'm not doing that. Just call it out. Just call it out. You'll notice it stops. But when I realized that I will not eat unless I am hungry, you know what happened? First, I didn't get hungry very much. I found out I didn't need to eat as much. And very quickly, within just a few weeks, I made this realization. A huge realization. Well, that's the wrong thing. There we go. The body doesn't need as much food as I thought it did. I realized in the beginning of my journey that the body does not need food as much as I thought it did. I mean, it needs food. But the volume, I was blown away. When I started just listening to my hunger and waiting until I got hungry, you know what happened? I didn't eat that much. I mean, I ate proper meals and everything, but it's like, I just noticed, like, wow, I just went 5 hours and didn't eat. You know how often I went 5 hours without having something? Because you got to understand, at first, I didn't know that there's a difference between my stomach is empty and I'm hungry. Whenever I felt that my stomach is empty feeling, I thought that means I need to put food in my system. Something must be wrong with me because my stomach always seems to be emptying itself of food. I'm always hungry. No, I was confusing empty stomach feeling with hunger. It's not the same thing. It's a precursor. You don't actually need food in your tummy all the time. You know how I know that? I Googled that shit. Literally in the beginning of my journey, I started like noticing this extra feeling and I was like, does the body actually need food in the stomach? I was 34 damn years old when I asked that question for the first time and nobody ever told me. Nobody ever walked up and said, do you know if the body needs food in the stomach? Do you know? And if somebody had said it to me, I would have either A, been like, I actually don't know, or I would have lied and pretended like I knew to save face. I would have done one or the other. I'm not sure which I would have done. I guess at the time, it would have depended on who asked me and how much I valued their opinion of me. Now I don't care. Right. Like if you ask me a question, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Because your opinion of me is irrelevant. But I digress back to what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. I looked down here, read something, and it threw off my train of thought. Hold on. Let me find it. I'm going to find it again. I was valuing the opinion of others, letting them manipulate me into eating. Well, let's move on. Wow. That's fun sometimes. Welcome to live production when you lose your train of thought and you just have no choice but to keep going. Stomach. Thank you. Look, I wrote a note down right here and it helped me figure it out. How cool is that? All right. I Googled, does your body need food in it or not, in the stomach all the time? And to come to find out, no, the stomach can be empty a majority of the time. That's not where you store the food you eat. What? You don't store the food in the stomach. The stomach is just a part of digestion. Your body stores it most of the time in the intestines and then in the blood and then in your fat and glycogen. Your body stores the food in multiple places, but before it becomes molecules that your system's using into the bloodstream, because it goes from the mouth down the throat into the stomach where it gets digested by acid and then it goes into the intestines. And it hangs out in your 30-ish feet of intestines. And from there, it's absorbed directly into the bloodstream as your body breaks it down. And then your body takes all that energy and sends it all throughout your bloodstream, all throughout every little cell in your body, depositing whatever nutrients that is in, maybe a little glycogen here, an amino acid there, a little bit of fat here, another little glucose over there. Oh, the brain's calling for its fuel source, which is glucose, so it's sending some up there. It's going all over the place on this super highway of energy called your bloodstream. And then the body's like, whoa, we're getting way too much energy stored in this blood. Where the blood's getting full and more energy's coming in because Chris Terrell's still shoveling food in his face, sending more down. And the body's like, we've got enough. We've got enough. And you're like, nope, I could fit more because my belly's empty. That's what I'm doing, right? I mean, again, I'm being a little dramatic here, but you get my drift here because this is all happening in slow motion, right? Like it's not happening quick. So even just waiting 2 hours and shoveling food down, that's kind of the equivalent to the body's like, whoa, we ain't processed what you gave us a couple of hours ago. Slow the fuck down. And so it gets in there. So the body's like, well, we're getting too much in the blood. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And the body's like, glycogen's got some extra room. How much does it got? It's got about 1,500 calories worth. Send it over there. And so the body starts loading up your muscles. It's loading up your liver and it's depositing glycogen. It's that short-term energy. And now it's getting full. And meanwhile, Chris Terrell's up here like, oh, pizza. Yes. Ooh, Cheez-Its. I'm eating. Let's play some video games. Let's not move. Because the body's like, man, if he'd move, we could get some of this energy out of the blood by using it. But he ain't moving. And he keeps giving us energy. What are we going to do? The glycogen's full. What's left? And then the subconscious is like, fat stores. Oh, right. And so now it's putting all this extra that you're giving it, all the extra is just going into fat because you've topped everything off. Your blood's topped off. Your glycogen's topped off. You ain't moving your ass, Chris. And so you keep eating, Chris. And now here we're going to make a couple of pounds of fat today. Maybe he'll use it tomorrow, right? He ate all this food for a reason. He must be saving it up to use it for something. No, I was not. Not at all. I was just eating it because I wanted to. It had nothing to do with needing it. I wanted to eat it, so I ate it because it tasted good, because I let my mouth rule my life. I was ruled by my appetite. So I want this, so I should get to have it, because I was incapable of doing something. And this leads to the next mindset shift. I needed to learn to stop saying yes to myself and start saying no. It was time for me to become a damn grown-up. And you know what grown-ups have? A bedtime. Grown-ups have a bedtime. You know what else grown-ups do? They tell their children, don't eat cake at 10:30 at night. But no one was coming into my house to say, Chris, maybe you should stop eating cake at 10:30 at night. No one was coming in and telling me that. So I kept doing it. Because I'm a grown-up. And grown-ups mean I don't ever have to be told no. No, that's not what grown-ups mean. I was a man-child. That's what I was. I was a 33-year-old man-child. I'm not saying everybody else is. I'm just talking about me. I was a man-child. And here's what I realized. I was indulging every passing fancy. Anytime I wanted something, the answer was yes. If I wanted to have it, I got to have it. Did I ever tell myself no? No. If I wanted it and I could afford it, I had it. And if I couldn't afford it, I might still have it. Because I didn't want to tell myself no. And you know what kept happening? I kept eating. My stomach would get empty and I wouldn't want to tell myself no. Oh, I could eat. Oh, somebody might want to feel bad. Well, I don't want to tell myself no. I don't want to tell them no. I just didn't want to say no. I was very unfriendly with the word no. No. Oh, but this pizza smells so good. Do you need it? No. Well, then you don't get any. But it smells good. Do you need it? No. Well, then you don't get any. But it smells good and I want it. Are you hungry? No, not even a little bit. Then you can't have it. But I want it. No. You see, it's like arguing with a toddler in my brain. And I just had to make sure that the last word was always no. Instead, letting the toddler inside me always having the last word. Oh, but I want it. No. And then I'd throw a bigger tantrum. Well, no, this is disordered eating. You can't deprive myself of pizza. I let my inner 2-year-old rule my life for a long time. I mean, a long time. I was completely unconscious to what I was doing. And yet I thought I was conscious. I thought I was aware of myself. I thought I was in control of myself. And that was another mindset shift I started realizing, which is that I had to acknowledge and accept to myself that I am not in control of me. And then I asked myself a very powerful question, a follow-up question to this. Am I okay with not being in control of myself? I had to ask myself that question. Do you know how many times I had asked myself that question before I asked that question at 34 years old? I can't think of a time. Maybe I did, but I can't think of it. I can think of this one. At 34 years old, I can remember this one. I can't remember any that predate that one. I looked myself in the mirror and realized I'm clearly not in control of myself. I'm clearly not. I can't control my actions. I can't control how I'm handling myself. I am completely under the spell of my appetites. I'm powerless to stop myself. Am I okay with this? Am I okay with being an undisciplined person? Am I okay with being unable to stick to something without getting immediate gratification? Am I okay with letting other people have the ability to make me mad? Implying that I'm in fact not in control of my emotions because you made me feel a certain way. Am I okay with that? Am I okay with being incapable of controlling myself around food? Am I okay with that? And you know what I started realizing when I started finally, for the first time in my damn life, asking myself that? I started going, no, I'm not good with this. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Nope. I started getting mad. I didn't like it. I didn't like when I was finally being truthful with myself, going, I don't like hearing the truth. I throw a tantrum anytime somebody tells me the truth. And you know what else I started realizing? A really big mental shift I had to make. And this one hurt. This one hurt to make. I eat because I'm a martyr. But let's call that what it is. I'm not a martyr. I'm a doormat. I'm a fucking doormat. Anytime something happens, I just take it. I don't want to upset somebody. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to have conflict. I don't want to make someone mad. Don't want someone to dislike me. And yet people would wrong me regularly. People would ask me to do things at work that I wasn't comfortable with doing. Not like anything illegal or anything. It's just like, hey, go get information about this so that you can fire this person. I don't want to do that. But I had to. It's that or I lose my job. Hey, you got to slash a budget over here by 20% because we've been mismanaging the company. Don't let anybody know that, but go cut it. I am totally making up details here, but that's the basic. It was we mismanaged, and as a result, people tried to lose jobs. And I had to keep that a secret. And then go make it about other people. It was awful. And I would just take it. Why? Because I didn't think I could do any better. I'd be in relationships that are no good for me, and I'd just take it. I wouldn't stand up for myself. I wouldn't stand up for my values. Why? Because I might make the other person upset. Everybody else's feelings were more important to me than my own. I was doing everything I could to be what I felt everybody else thought I should be. And I was miserable. I was so afraid to make someone unhappy by advocating for myself. I was so afraid of rocking the boat. So rather than advocating for myself, I would just absorb it. And you know what? That would piss me off. That would make me hurt. That would make me feel bad because I was not standing up for myself. And that would make me feel bad. That would erode my self-respect with myself because I'm not enforcing a boundary. I'm not even drawing them. And then when I am drawing them and I'm letting people trample all over them, I'm doing nothing about it. And that would make me not feel good. And food would make me feel good. A video game would make me feel good. A movie would make me feel good. I wasn't thinking, let's go gain weight. I never thought that. I just thought, I don't feel good. I want to feel better. What would make me feel better? A movie would make me feel better. I don't feel good. This movie isn't quite doing it. What would make it even better? Oh, some Cheez-Its would make it feel better. Oh, I hate this job. Oh, I don't want to get up and go to work. Oh, but you got that great breakfast along the way. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, I don't want to go meet with this customer. Oh, they're probably going to just holler and scream at me because I'm unwilling to go to this employee and tell them if they don't do their jobs, I'm going to have to let them go. So instead, I'm not going to tell them to do their jobs. I'm not going to hold them accountable. I'm going to let them keep failing. And then I'm going to go to the customer and get my ass ripped by the customer. Then I'm going to turn around and be mad at this employee when secretly I should be mad at myself because I won't hold them accountable. Oh, this is going to be such a terrible meeting. Oh, but there's a Krispy Kreme along the way and you can get some donut holes. I do like donut holes. That would make me feel better. And that would make the 40-minute drive a lot more enjoyable. Why don't we get, and the light is on. I could even throw in a hot and ready glazed donut from Krispy Kreme. Turns out, for me to stop emotionally eating, I needed to do the one thing that I was afraid to do, which is stand up for myself in all parts of my life. To be my own chief advocate, to ensure that my voice is heard and to not apologizing for it. When someone wronged me, I needed to reach out and get the help because I mattered. And I didn't think I did before. Let me tell you, the first few times I stood up for myself, I was terrified. Terrified. What would happen? What if they didn't like me? And so I started looking into this. What happens? Is the right thing to do to stand up for myself? I wanted to know what's the right thing to do. And here's what I discovered. Here's another mindset shift. No one is universally liked. No one of any consequence is universally liked. No one. No one. You can please some of the people some of the time. That's it. And so, when I stood up for myself, sometimes people ended up not liking me. But I liked me. I felt better about me. I felt glad that I'd stood up for myself. Okay, you don't like me. Okay. Pound sand then. I don't need you in my life. I never thought thoughts like that before 34 years old. Ever. Ever. If you didn't like me and I found out, I would try to change so that you would like me. But now, I'm not changing for anybody. I'm me. I believe what I believe and I am who I am. And if a person doesn't like it, live your best life. Just over there, away from me. Oh, you want to be right here? Fine, I'll go over there. It's not because I'm going to avoid conflict. It's just, I don't want you in my life. I don't need haters. But you know what? We can hang out. I learned at work. Turns out I don't actually have to be everybody's friend at work. Turns out at work, some relationships can truly just be, we're professional acquaintances. We see each other, we're polite, we treat each other with civility, and that's it. I don't need to know anything about you. I don't need to know about your kids. I don't need to know about what's going on at home. I don't need to know about what you got going on this weekend. I don't need to know nothing. I'm here to do a job. You're here to do a job, and that's fine. Oh, us, but me and this person, we're friends. Yeah, I could just be friends with some people and acquaintances with others, and that's fine. Oh, well, you feel bad that I don't want to talk to you. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have room to talk to everybody. I got to be picky. I got to be choosy. Life's too short. You should be choosy. So, when I realized that I need to stand up for myself, and I started doing it, I realized this is making my life better. A lot better. And I'm feeling better about myself. My self-esteem is improving. Now, there's many other mindset shifts that I made in those first several months because my weight loss journey began with 6 months of mindset work. I didn't track a single calorie for 6 months. It was nothing but mindset work for the first 6 months. It's shit like this. Going, what have I been failing to look at and deal with up here? Let's start addressing that for the first time ever. Because no one can address it but me. No one can write a plan for how to fix up here but me, because I am the subject matter expert on me. I can go to others to learn how the human mind works. But I know how my mind works because all I got to do is go inside and look. I had to stop escaping into the past. I had to stop running to an imaginary future. I had to start becoming present with where I actually live, which is the present. You see, something I didn't know at the time that I learned later is that our life is a precious, valuable thing. And my life exists in the present moment. The past never feels as good as the present. It never does. What's the saying? They never tell you you're in the good old days when you're in the good old days. Well, I finally started telling myself, well, today is the good old days. Let's be grateful for it now. Let's not be grateful for it retroactively. Let's be completely devoted to the present moment. Let's be completely present with what I'm doing. Whatever I'm doing, give 100% to it. Give my complete and total focus to it. If I'm eating, be present. Listen to my body. Listen to my thoughts. Listen to my mind. Hear what's going on. And choose. Stop acting like I'm not under control. Sure, I might have some conditions in the mind, some mind patterns that are particularly strong that tend to take over. And it might take me 6 months, a year, maybe even a couple of years to get some of this stuff fixed. But if you never get started, you're never going to be finished. And you got a lot of failures you got to get out of the way. So perhaps get them out of the way early. Fail early, fail often. Fail as much as you can. And learn from each one. But always keep your failures original. Don't go having repeats. I heard somebody recently, who was it that said it? It's totally escaping me. But we don't want any new scars. Okay, no new ones. Or sorry, no repeat ones. No, don't open old wounds. Well, that's what I get for trying to go off the cuff with this one. Keep your mistakes original. Don't make the same mistake twice. But go make as many original mistakes as you can. And learn from them. Fail your way forward. That's how you get there. One of the big mentality shifters is I stopped looking at failure as bad. I stopped looking at failure as a setback, and I just looked at it as a part of the journey. It was a detour in the road that I didn't know was coming, but it was always there. The only difference was I had an expectation. Later, I realized I need to stop having expectations on how life's going to go. I needed to stop making plans. I needed to stop acting entitled to results. I'm entitled to my actions. I'm entitled to my behaviors. The results will come on their own accord. I had to stop trying to control that which was outside of my control. You see, I used to set all sorts of expectations around things outside of my control. And so, of course, naturally, things outside of my control often go in ways that are contrary to my expectations. But a wise man told me that An expectation is just a premeditated disappointment. If I didn't have the expectations, I wouldn't have been disappointed. Have you ever noticed that when you're not in a hurry, truly, you got 30 minutes to make a 20-minute drive, that even with traffic will only make it go 25? You notice how you don't mind the traffic lights? They don't bother you. You're okay with it. It's because you don't have an expectation of catching greens. You're not needing to be in a hurry. But you ever notice how that exact same drive, all of a sudden now you have 19 minutes to go 20? And there might be some traffic, so it might push it out a few minutes. And now you're trying to shave off 3 minutes of the drive to be right on time. And now all of a sudden that red light you're catching. Go, 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 right? Because you're in a hurry. And the person in front's like, what? I got 20 minutes to make it 30. I got 30 minutes to make a 20-minute drive. Why are you in such a hurry? And you're like, go, 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 go. Why? Because you got 19 minutes to make a 20-minute drive. Your expectations around your results are probably the thing that's making your weight loss journey difficult. This was a big mindset shift I made in the beginning. I don't need to lose weight. I need to live differently. That I can control. I can control how I live. I can't control what happens. I can't control others. I can't control the thoughts and the feelings of others, despite how much I'd like to. Especially early on, I was having a difficult time enough managing my own emotions. I don't know what business I had trying to go manage the emotions of everybody else around me. I was ready, though, to change. I was ready. I was ready to let go of the need for praise from others, so that I could simultaneously let go of the fear of their rejection. I was ready to choose how I wanted to live my life. And I was ready to lose connections with other humans in pursuit of my goals and my desires and my dreams. I was ready to fail in pursuit of my dreams. I was ready to just stop going the wrong direction, at least. Stop gaining. I may not know how to lose, but at least fucking stop the gaining. Stop acting powerless and helpless. I was ready to not feel helpless and powerless anymore. I was ready to stop pretending like there was nothing I could do. And I hope you're ready. I hope you are. Because when you're ready, you'll change. A lot of people want to change. But more people just want to change. They'd like to change. It'd be nice. If I got some time, someday I'll change. In the future, I'll work on it. Maybe. But you see, it's always going to be the you of a present moment that makes the changes, that gives you the results that you're looking for. And unless you can get yourself to act in the present moment, you're not going to get the results you want. And many of us erroneously think it's somehow going to be easier in the future. It more than likely won't be. It'll more than likely be more difficult in the future. Literally right now is the easiest it will be, more than likely. Any delays are only choosing to start under more difficult circumstances. So why not get started now? Why not pivot? Just a slight little towards your goals. And then the next day. And then the next week. And then a little bit after that. And a little bit after that. And then a little bit after that. And then a little bit after that. Why not just slowly and steadily make the turn? So that way, 2 months from now, when you look backwards, you're like, I have something to show for it. You may not have accomplished the goal yet, but you're certainly a lot closer than you were before. We'll end with this, a realization that I had. I've left this pinned to the top of my TikTok channel for as long as it's been in existence since I made this post, because this is the key. This mentality shifter. And it's one, this post doesn't get enough views because it's not sexy. It's not exciting. But here we have time. And here we have weight. Many of you, your weight has been looking like this. You've been, sure, you might have had some weight loss. You might have gone up and down. But over time, you're gaining weight. And now you've made some changes. And now you've gone flat. And many people think, oh, I haven't done enough. Oh, I only lost 1 pound. Oh, I maintained. That is a fallacy. That's a flawed way of thinking. Because over the same period of time, if you had done nothing, you would be here. Because that's where the trend was going. And instead, you're down here. So in fact, you've made tremendous progress by preventing yourself from making it worse. And now, as you slowly steer it down, remember, over time, even if you slowed it down later, you would have had all this to overcome. And now you slowly and steadily make your way towards your goal, the place you want to be. Slowly, steadily. But I want you to remember something. Unless you plan on dying here, getting your goal weight and going, not being around anymore, what you're going to discover is now you maintain ongoing. And now you'll begin to realize that this was just practice for this. And that in fact, this wasn't wasted effort at all. This was preparation for what was to come. Because if you, when you get here, go back to living the life you were living here, you know what's going to happen? You're just going to go back to yo-yo dieting. We can't have that. So when you get here, the lifestyle you were living over here has to go away. It's got to be gone. But remember, if you had done nothing, you would still now have to overcome all of that. All right. So good to see you all. Love doing these live streams here on Monday. They are made available for replay. If you want to get more like this, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to get more like this, I have a podcast. I have a new episode that came out last Friday. It's available on all your podcasting apps. I think this code right here, I think you can scan this or something with Spotify. I think it'll pull up, but you can find it on all your podcasting apps. I got 78 episodes, all mindset first focused on weight loss. So if you've really enjoyed this, you're going to love that podcast. You can also join my free Facebook group. You can go to christerrellcoaching.com for that. And also, don't forget, if you are interested in joining my guild, the doors are closed right now, so you can't get in. But if you want to get on the wait list for the next time the doors open up, you can go to theguildofchampions.com, click I'm not a guild member, and you'll be taken to a page there where you can join the wait list. I'd love to have you be on it for the next time we open the doors. Have a great day, everybody. Go out and crush your goals. Fail early, fail often, fail falling forward. And I can't wait to see you till next week. Go crush your weight loss. See y'all next time.